Hello, my name is Jane Wake and welcome to The Powerful Pregnancy. I'm creator of this program and I'm a fitness expert and I've been working in the pre and postnatal field for over 15 years. Now today's workout is for the second trimester. It's for that time in your pregnancy when you're feeling really energized and you want to just maybe pep the pace up just a little bit, but in a very safe environment. Now we do use these bands throughout the workout, but if you haven't got bands, it doesn't matter. You can do the whole thing without. You're going to need a mat. You need some comfy clothing to wear. Don't need any shoes, but you do need some water. So make sure you've got that to hand as well. And then we're all set and ready to go. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope you're feeling great today. I know here in the studio today, these two are feeling brilliant. It's the second trimester. It's that point in your pregnancy where you start to come alive a little bit. So if you're feeling like that, then follow these two because you can go for it a little bit more. Aditi, I know you're feeling not quite as great. So Aditi's going to take it a little bit slower today. So the great thing is we can show you different levels within this workout within the second trimester. We're going to start moving straight away. So let's just do some rocking the babies, just going from side to side. And let's talk a little bit about this point in your pregnancy. If you are suffering with, real hormone surges, the hormone relaxin is really surging through your body, then you know that you need to be a little bit more cautious in terms of the width of your movement, the breadth of your movement, and the control of your core. So you need to use your core a little bit more. Aditi's going to be doing that because she knows she needs to focus a little bit more on the pelvic floor, making sure that she's using her pelvic floor effectively. So if you are feeling that way, then please follow how Aditi uses the blocks. I'll talk you through that as well. If you are feeling great though, use your core still, really focus on your core, but you can take bigger movements. Just listen to your body all the way through. In terms of intensity, we're going to take it up a little bit today. So I want you to really, again, listen to your intensity. You should be able to talk all the way through this workout without having to stop in between each word. You should be able to have a conversation. You'll be huffing and puffing a little bit, but you should be able to talk. Yeah, that's your intensity guideline. Okay, so now let's bring the feet in and bring them hip distance apart, and we're just going to start to warm the toes up. So just rock from, so do what we call a foot pedal, where you're just moving from one foot to the other. We're going to put our hands onto our tummies or underneath your bump a little bit, and just start to try and engage your core as we're moving the feet. Now, if you can't feel anything, just slow your action down. So go at your pace, and then I want you to draw up through the pelvic floor, stop a fart, stop a wee, lift up into your center, and feel your belly coming up and away. Now, because this is our cardio and strength workout, we're going to be nice and active with our warm-up. So we're going to start to peel the right foot off the floor, engage the core, and then extend the leg back, squeeze the buttock, and change. So peel the left foot off the floor, and then take it back, squeeze your buttock, and then change. Let's do that 2 more times. So peel your right foot off the floor, engage your core, squeeze your buttock behind, and then change. 1 more of those. Peel your left foot off the floor, engage your core, squeeze your buttock, and then place the foot back down. Let's go back into our rocking the babies. How's that feel? Yeah? Okay, everybody all right? So I'm asking you to engage your pelvic floor a little bit more quickly in this session. So I want you to think of that quick kind of flick on of the pelvic floor. And remember to do that. Now, today in the studio, it's a little bit cold today, so we've got our jumpers on, but we are going to warm up quite quickly, so we will take them off at layers as we go along. I want you to make sure, from a temperature perspective, that you are working out where you have good air circulation, really, really important, and that you do have layers you can take on and off if you need to, yeah? Really important that you keep yourself nice and cool internally, and you're drinking lots of water as well. Okay, so we're going to bring the feet back, but now we're going a little bit more than hip distance apart. I want you to engage the core of the feet. Yep, we've done this before. Press through the inside of the ball of the foot, draw up through the arches of the foot, scoop up from the back of the pelvic floor and into your belly. Aditi, you may want to use your blocks here and have a slightly narrower stance. So if you're finding it hard to feel your pelvic floor, then you can do the same as Aditi. You're going to take a nice big deep breath from your inhale and just drop back into a semi-squat position. It's not very fast. If you can see our bodies from a side perspective, it's just a little drop back. I call this a monkey squat. So if you just let your arms hang down, Yeah, you keep your posture in check, shoulder blades drawn down, nice long spine. Bring your chin in, but just a little drop back. Now draw up through the core of the foot. Now scoop up from the back of your pelvic floor and into your belly. If you're using blocks or a cushion between your knees, squeeze on those so you've got that deep core connection. And then we're going to lift up and come up onto the toes. Now this will throw your balance. So what I want you to do here is I want you to just click your heels in, like Dorothy clicking her heels in. Now squeeze your buttocks and scoop up from the back of your pelvic floor and into your belly. Work the shoulders down, and then we're going to drop back down into a squat. Now you can go a little bit lower if you want to. Take your weight now back into your heels as you go lower. Work your shoulders down and look at the floor in front of you so you're not sticking your chin out. I keep looking up at the camera at you, so my chin is probably out a bit too much, but I want you to just think of bringing your chin in. Imagine you've got that apple under your chin. Now take a breath, inhale, exhale, lift up through the core muscles, come back up onto your toes. Do that little Dorothy click for me. Feel your buttocks squeeze, lift in through your center. We're going to do a little rotation around to the right as we do this. Pull the hip back to the left and then come back center and go the other way. And then come back center, and then come down and drop back down into your squat. Now we're going to squat, lifting and lowering. So you're going to lift back up, find your center, and then lower back down. Lift back up, find your center, and then lower back down. So just warming everything up, lift back up, and then lower back down. Draw up through the core of the feet, lift up through your pelvic floor. Do one more for me. And then lift back up through. Well done. Let's take the right leg back behind and release the calves. So keep your feet in those nice tram lines as you're doing this, lifting and lowering through the right foot, trying to get that right heel to go back down each time. Now, when you're working in this position, we've got the legs in a wide position. If you feel any discomfort in your pelvis, bring your foot in so you're not going back quite so far. Yep, so just work with a narrow stance. Conversely, if you're feeling good, you can take the leg further back so you feel more length into your calf muscles. This is really important to release the calves before we start. And I want everyone to check their heel position. How are your heels doing? Yep. They're looking pretty good actually, girls. I'm really impressed. This is really good. So we don't want those heels. I'm going to do it incorrectly. You don't want those heels turning in, yeah? So just make sure the heel turns out. So just lift and lower. And then we're going to drop the heel down, lift up through the core muscles, work the shoulders down. And then we're just going to open and close the chest. So we're just going to open and close the chest. And as you do this, really think about that lovely stretch through your right calf. And then we're moving through the chest wall. And then do two more like that, one more like that. Now I want you to place your right toes where your heel is currently. So you're going to take your foot into a lunge position. Bring your weight back into the back leg. Aditi, don't go too far with your step. Keep it nice and narrow so you really can feel your core muscles. Work the shoulder blades down and go up and really squeeze into your buttocks. Lift up through your center, find your pelvic floor, and then lower down a little way. And then lift back up and squeeze into your buttocks. And then again, take a breath, inhale, exhale, lift your core, lower down a little way, and then lift back up and squeeze. Do that for me one more time. Inhale, exhale, and then lower down a little way, and then lift back up and squeeze. We're going to change legs. So take the left leg back this time and start lifting and lowering. So have a think about whether when you take your left leg back behind, you feel any difference in tightness. Anybody feeling tighter? Yeah? So do you need to focus a bit more on that left side? Do you need to work into that calf a little bit more? So if you feel you need to take a bit more time over this, then do that. Just keep working it through, allowing that heel to drop back down to the floor. Get that length into your left leg. And then we're going to hold the heel down, hold it there, and we're going to open and close the chest again. So open and close it, and open and close it. Do that two more times, and one more time. And then we're going to place the ball of the foot where the heel was. Bring your butt underneath you. And it's a bit like you're kind of sitting on your buttocks. So you're bringing your weight back. So squeeze your bum, lift up through your center, and come up nice and tall. Work the shoulders down. Can you feel your pelvic floor in this position? If you can't, narrow your stance. Bring your foot in a little bit more. Yep. And then lower down a little way. And then lift back up and squeeze into your buttock. So really feel that buttock underneath you and that lift through your core. And again, lower down. Now we're dropping vertically down. There's no forward movement. You should be able to push through the front heel as you come back up. And do that for me one more time. Lower down and lift back up. and then release and go back into your rocking the baby. So you should now feel like you've warmed up, and I want you to now do a stretch that you know is right for you. So it might be a quad stretch, it might be a hip stretch. Go to wherever you are in your room. So guys, you can go to the back wall and just do a stretch that you know you need to do right now. We've done these before, so the really important stretch for the hips is to just drop down into that hip stretch position, which helps to release the hips. And if you know that your front thighs really need a good stretch, so you can do that one as well. And just stop and do these stretches throughout the workout. At any time you can stop and do them. Yeah, it's really important that you keep lengthening through those muscles that feel tight. It's really important to release tension in the body. We can do that in two ways. We can do it by just generally moving and focusing on trying to open parts of our body, and also by stretching. The best way is to combine all of those things together. Keep moving, think and focus about where it is that you feel tight, and then to stretch out whenever you need to. Okay, how are we all doing? Everybody okay? Good, good, good. So we're gonna start grabbing our bands now, and we're gonna start to do some exercises. So I'm just gonna tell you guys at home, we're gonna grab both of our bands. So I'd like you to do the same as well. Make sure you've got your bands attached to something that doesn't move. And then we're going to go into our lunge position. Now, Aditi, if you can try this with the blocks first of all. So you're going to do your squat with the blocks. And then Jana and Fiona, you're going to take your right leg back behind into your lunge position. We're going to do exactly the same as we've just practiced. Both bands into your right hand. So both bands into your right hand. So Aditi's going to squat, and then Fi and Jana, we're going to just lower down and then lift back up and squeeze. Now, we've all done this movement before, lowering and lifting. And Aditi's doing it in a squat position, so she can really concentrate a little bit more on her core muscles as she's doing it. I'm just looking now with everybody for lovely lines through the body, nice and tall, and coming up and squeezing into those buttocks at the top. So really thinking about your posture as you're moving through. Keep on working the shoulder blades back and down. Now at home, if you've done these movements before, they should be familiar to you. You know what your focuses are. There's lots to think about. Your breathing, your core control, and then that lower but that lift up and that use of your glutes at the top. You want to be thinking about opening your body more now, not closing up these hip joints and closing up these shoulder joints. You want to open them as much as you can. That requires good core control. Guys, can you do 3 more of these movements for me? Everybody okay? Yeah? Looking good. Fantastic. Everybody's looking nicely aligned. The heels aren't turning in. Looks good, 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 good. Last one. And then everybody's going to change arms, change legs. So we're going to take hold of the bands on the other side. And then left leg back behind this time. Right leg forward. Come up nice and tall. Squeeze into your buttocks. Work the shoulders down. And then we're going to lower down and lift back up and squeeze into the glutes. And then again, lower down and lift back up and squeeze. Now, I'm also going to ask all you guys to check your knee positioning, yeah? So where your knees are going. When we're doing these lunges, it's important that the knees don't drop in, yeah? So push your knee out on the front leg and try to feel your buttocks working as you do that. So feel your buttocks squeezing, coming up nice and tall. Anybody finding it harder on this side? Much harder. Okay, so there's a key factor. Often if you're right-handed, you feel the right side is a lot easier to pull. So you might find it's harder on the left side. So you want to think about how that impacts on your body. Do you need to pull up through your core a little bit more? Do you need to really focus? Just that fatigue point is going to set in a little bit early on the left. So keep concentrating, keep breathing nice and big, keep using your core, keep squeezing everything through. Looking good, guys. Keep working the shoulders down. Anybody getting too warm yet? We might see some jumpers peeling off in a minute. You're doing really well. It's good. Okay, I'd like to do about 5 more movements. But here's the thing. If it's getting too much, stop when you need to stop. Yeah, don't feel you have to keep going. Stop when you want to. You could go back to doing some stretches. You could go back into your rocking the baby. Doing really well, guys. Nice big breaths all the way through. Perfect. Okay. Right, we're going to grab our wide bands now. You could use a towel. You can use anything you like. We're going to do our tightrope walk exercise. So you're going to put the right foot in front of the left, and you're going to, we can all do this one together. You're going to squeeze into your buttocks, work the shoulder blades down, coming up nice and tall. Take a breath, inhale, exhale, lift the arms up. And you can go all the way up and over the head, or you can just come to shoulder height. Inhale, exhale, lower the arms down. So I'm just going to go to shoulder height. I want you to go as far as you want to go. You can go all the way back behind the head if you want to. Lift into your center, work the shoulder blades down the back of your rib cage, control your core. Take another breath, inhale, exhale, and then bring the arms back. Let's do 2 more on this side. So take a breath, inhale, exhale, lift up through your pelvic floor and into your belly. Go as far back with your arms as you want to. You can go right back behind the head if you want to. And then take another breath, inhale, exhale, and lower the arms down. We're going to do that one more time on this side. Inhale, exhale. Now squeeze the buttock on your back leg, which should be your left leg, should be your back leg right now. And then inhale, exhale, and lower back down. We're going to change sides. So bring the left leg in front, right leg behind. Squeeze your right buttock, come up and underneath you with your glutes. Take another breath. Inhale, exhale. Lift up for your pelvic floor. So do that stop a fart, stop a wee feeling. You can go all the way back behind if you want to. And then take another breath, inhale, exhale, and then draw it back. Sit. And then do that again, inhale, exhale, lift up through your center, work the shoulder blades back and down as you do this. Keep your chin in, and then take another breath. Inhale, exhale, lift up through your core. Make sure you're still squeezing that buttock on the back leg. And then let's go for one more. Inhale, exhale, lift up and through. Perfect. Fantastic. And then bring the arms back and over. Well done. Brilliant stuff. Okay, so we're going to go into our side position now. While the guys are grabbing their bands, I'm just going to go and turn the heating off in this room because we suddenly got too hot. Okay, so I'm not disappearing. I'm coming back. And we're going to grab our bands. And what I want you to do is take your hardest band into your left hand. Yep, so your left hand should be furthest away from your attachment site. Your right hand is going to be closer. Aditi, I'd like you to use your blocks on this one. And then everybody else, Aditi's going to bring her feet in narrow. I'm going to do the same actually as Aditi, just so you can see that variation. So you can go into a squat position. And let's all start with just bringing the bands around our torso. Okay, now if Aditi, it feels too much with both bands, you can put your blue band down and just work with your green one, yeah? You don't have to work with both. So we're just bringing the bands around the body. Now, Fee and Gianna, you can move your legs a little bit more, yeah? So you can start moving side to side a little bit more. And Aditi, you're going to squat down a little bit more. So you drop down into a squat position. So drop down into a squat position. So we're doing slightly different movements. And if you can see us from behind, you'll see that Aditi and I are squatting with a narrow leg position, and that Fiona and Jana are moving side to side. So if you're able to work in that wider stance, you can move in a side to side action. Now though, let's start to separate the bands. So we're pulling with one arm and pushing with the other. So Jana and Fee, I want you to really start to move it now. If it feels good, do it. But every time we pull, we're going to lift up through our core muscles. So lift up from the pelvic floor and into the belly. Lift up through the pelvic floor and into the belly. If you want to go even higher with your arms, you can. You can take the bands all the way up and over your head. I'm going to come further forward because I actually want Jana and Fee to come further forward as well. Because what's really important is that your bands stay taut as you do this. So if your bands are going a little bit slack, you need to just come away from your attachment site a little bit more and keep the body moving. You can bring the arms around the body, you can bring the arms up. As long as you feel safe in your core as you're doing this, then it's all good. Yeah, so let's go for 4 more, 3 more, and 2 more, and then last one, and then you're there. Well done. Okay, so now we're going to go into our pressing action. Everybody okay? Yeah? So Aditi, I'm going to ask you to try a lunge in this one. Okay, so just grab one of your bands, either your lighter or your heavier band. It doesn't matter which one you're going for. What's important is it feels like the light resistance for you. So try the easier one. If it's too easy, you can switch to your harder band. But you definitely just need one band for this action. So Aditi and I are going to do this with a very narrow lunge position. If you do feel any discomfort in your pelvis, go back to putting the blocks between your knees and going into a squat. Fee and Jana can go the slightly wider stance, but everybody is going to squeeze the right buttock underneath them, and sit your weight back into that back leg. You press the band forward as you lower into your lunge position. So you press, and then you lift back up and squeeze, and we're all going to come up really tall. Lower down, and then lift back up and squeeze. Lower down, and then lift back up and squeeze. And again, lower down, and lift back up. That's great, well done. Lower down, and lift back up. Again, there's no forward action, so think about when we did that warm-up lunge, the body's dropping vertically down and back up. It's very tempting, I'm doing it wrong at the moment, to push the weight forward, but you keep your chest up, your head in line, apple under your chin, and make sure you're finding your pelvic floor. Right here, find it, and then lower down. So you need to flick your pelvic floor on. Yeah, feel it working. Keep working the shoulders down. Aditi, are you okay doing this? Yeah, so Aditi's feeling fine, but remember, you can revert to going into squats with the blocks between your knees if you need to. Let's do 2 more of these. Well done. And 1 more. Fantastic, and then change arms. So we're going to do the other side now, so just going to move our bands across a little bit. Going on to the other side. So this time, left leg behind. Again, I've got a narrow stance. DT and I are working with a narrow stance, and then Fee and Jana, you can go wider. So let's start nice and tall, squeeze into the buttocks, and then lower down, and then lift back up and squeeze. Now, we're working quite continuously here, so I want you to think about where your breathing's going. Who feels they can talk? Nobody's talking, okay? Yeah? Okay, good. Trying to. Okay, so that's really good. We need to be able to talk all the way through. You will feel a little bit out of breath, but the point is that you aren't having to stop talking, yeah? So you can feel that you are able to at least hold a conversation, and that's where you want to be. Okay, so keep moving it through. Fantastic. Let's go for 5 more here. Squeeze into those glutes at the top. Keep working your shoulders down, and keep reminding yourself of your posture. The more you work on your postural muscles, then the greater core control you've got, because they are the same. Yep. So you're lifting through those pelvic floor, working the shoulders down. Don't forget the core of your front leg, and check out these knees. Yep. Make sure the knee doesn't turn in. Yep. Take the knee out. Last one, and then you're there. Well done. We're going to go side to side on the other side. Now, Aditi, I'm going to use blocks. So if you don't want to use blocks, if you want to try going wider, yeah, why don't you see if you can do it? Because what you can find is, as you go through, sometimes things just start to get better, yeah? So the only way you're going to know is if you try, but you listen to your body. So I'm going to squat down. Everybody else can move side to side. So I'm just going to squat down and lift back up. Everybody else move side to side with your action. So just in terms of your bands, your harder band should be in your right arm, your arm that's furthest away from your attachment site, and your easier band should be in your left hand as you're working through. And if you want to take your arms further away from your body, you can, but just make sure you're lifting through your core muscles as you do this. How's everybody feeling? Yeah, you okay? Good. Aditi, how are you feeling with your legs wider stance?
Good. I think I feel less in the pelvic floor, but the overall momentum kind of helps a bit.
Yeah, okay, so Aditi's saying she's not feeling her pelvic floor as well, but the momentum and the movement feels very controlled, and she's enjoying that movement as well, and everything feels fine. So I think it's fine for you to do that, as long as you monitor yourself afterwards. How did you feel after the workout? So if you are going to try something a little bit harder, think about how you feel afterwards, yeah? Do you feel okay? Do you still feel in control? Can you still feel your pelvic floor afterwards? And if you feel any kind of negatives, you know you've maybe pushed it a little bit too much and you need to ease it off next time. So listen to your body all the way through. Have we done enough of these yet? Let's go for 2 more. And 1 more. And then you're done. Well done. Fantastic. Okay. So let's come back to this position here. Now what we're going to do for the first time is we're going to practice a birthing squat position. Now we've got quite a few weeks yet before we need to worry about doing this. But these are really good actions to do. So we're going to turn to the side. The girls haven't done this before with me. So we're just going to turn to the side, and all we're going to do, and we're just doing this at DT because this will again challenge your pelvic floor. So we're just going to do this to see if you can feel your pelvic floor. Now what I want everyone to do is just to rock on their heels. So just rock on the heels side to side. So you're just rocking on your heels, and you're allowing your pelvis to swing a little bit. And then we're going to drop down, place the hands onto the thighs, and just come down into a half squat position. So in this position, your weight's into your heels and your butt's going back behind you. Now pause and hold and try and lift up through your pelvic floor and into your belly. Can everybody feel their pelvic floor? Yeah? Great. Okay, so rock on your heels again, and then just see if you can drop down a little bit lower. And then pause and hold, and see if you can find your pelvic floor. Work the shoulders down. Everybody okay? Yeah?
Harder, but I can feel my the rest of my back also compressing.
Okay, so Aditi says she's finding it tough for now. So what I'm going to suggest is everybody comes back up, and Aditi, don't go so low. Yeah, so only go a little bit down. Fee and Jana, you can go down lower, so rock on the heels. Drop down a little bit. And then Aditi, don't go down so low, and then find your pelvic floor. So scoop up from the back of the pelvic floor into your belly, and then rock a little bit more. And if you want to, you can drop down a little bit more. Now, a perfect, yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Okay, this is why, okay, we can stop. Yeah, birthing squats are quite hard, but this is why we need to start doing them now. Yeah, so that we get really, it's like doing ski squats. Yeah, it's really good to start doing them now so we prepare our legs for being able to do them. And it is, it's hard work. Hey, birthing is hard work. So this is why we're training, and that's why we're starting these now. So we're going to do some stretches now. I want you to do the same. You can do these in your own time. You know how to do this. We're going to do calf stretches. Guys, go up against the back wall. We're going to do calf stretches. So these are the three important ones: calf stretches, hip stretches, yep, and then also front thigh stretches. And we're also going to do one more as well. I'm going to ask the girls to just do them in their own time, and that is one for the hamstrings, the backs of the legs as well. So it's really important you do all of these stretches. Now, we're doing this just as a cardio and strength workout, so we're just doing some short stretches. But when we do our Pilates workouts, we'll be doing lots more stretching in that. So you can always combine this workout with your Pilates workout as well if you want to. So make sure you combine the two if you want. If you feel the need to get a little bit more stretching, or if you haven't got much time, you can just do this workout and then come back to your Pilates another time. Let me show you that hamstring stretch I want you to do. And that is just to bring the leg forward and stick your bottom out behind you. So if everybody wants to have a go at that right now, you're just taking your bottom out and flexing your foot, and then just getting a stretch going all the way down the back of your leg. So Fee, if you can bring your chest up for me, and you can bring your hands up a little bit higher, but stick your bottom out. That's it. Do you feel that? Yes, you can feel it. Yeah, you all got perfect positioning. Well done. And change legs. So it also gives you a stretch down the back of the leg as well into the calves. So you should feel a lovely stretch going down the back of your leg. So well done. I hope you feel you've had a good workout. And as I say, if you want to do more stretching and a bit of Pilates, join us with our Pilates workout as well. Hello, I hope you enjoyed the workout, and if you did enjoy it, please do subscribe, like and comment below. We really do want to get your feedback, and just like Jana and Kirsten and Aditi, you can ask me questions and I will answer those questions, and we can even make workouts specifically for you. So please do comment and come and see us again soon.